Hi everyone, I just wanted to film a quick little intro for this video. A couple of months ago, probably about 6 months ago actually, I uploaded a video where I was putting together my Project Life album, or I had batch printed some photos and I was putting them all into my Project Life album, and you guys seemed to really enjoy that video. So I recently received my photos for my 2020 album so far, and I thought I would film a similar video for you and upload it so that you could just chat and scrap along with me, or get an album ready, or just have a cup of tea and some biscuits if you fancy it. But I had trimmed a couple of the photos before I started, so I think I mentioned that in the first clip. So obviously your first step is going to be to order all of your photos and trim them down so that they're all the size you want and everything. And I had started that process before I filmed this video, but I left the rest of it in for you to see. So I hope you enjoy the video. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will see you at the end. Okay, so I've got all my photos. Like I said in the intro, they are not all trimmed. I've got some random ones that are, but then a lot of them are still in their little pairs of two like that, because I wasn't sure how my photos were going to end up being laid out. So the next step is obviously to start putting them into page protectors and just hoping that they will all go in. But yeah, so a lot of people plan their layouts, so they pick which photos are going to go in, they look at their page and decide, you know, which photos they want to print. I don't do that. I just print all the photos that I want to print and then try and make them fit. So that's what we're going to start doing now. I need to find some sort of 12 by 12 photo to go on the back of this one, which has weird stains on the back of it that I hadn't noticed before. So that's annoying. But yeah, one thing I have noticed is that I don't really have many 6x4 photos at the moment. So that's going to be kind of interesting, I think. I'm stuck already. I have extra photos. So yeah, I got stuck pretty quickly here. I had some extra photos of the dogs that I had printed for January's spread, but I realised that I wasn't going to have room for them because I only had one side of the page for January. Obviously I was really poorly this year and I just wasn't really taking many photos. So I just set the photos of the dogs aside and I'll use those in my creative journal instead, because the back side of that page for January goes straight into our Florida trip in February. I didn't take any photos for the first half of February, so the Florida trip is literally all I have of that whole month, and here we are going straight into March. Now don't worry, I think I do give you a closer look at all of these spreads at the end, and you'll see them again when I am putting my cards and papers in place. So I know I'm whizzing through this, but I just didn't want the video to be super long. You see that I've cut down a page protector. I had lots of the Design A page protectors where they have the 4 4x6s and 4 3x4 slots. And for my trip to hospital sounds like it's a lovely trip. For my 10-day hospital stay where I nearly died, I only had, you know, X amount of photos and I just wanted to put them in an insert. So I basically cut one of those page protectors in half and just popped them all in there. And again, you'll see that closer later. I'm just filling in all of these slots with photos. I think these are all from March when the country went into lockdown. So this is basically like a lockdown scrapbook so far. Nothing else has happened apart from our Florida trip. So a lot of these photos are kind of dark and dreary. They're all in the house. But hopefully I can add the papers in and the cards in to make them pop a little bit more and make it a bit more colourful and fun. And I've got screenshots there of the text that the government sent out when the country went into lockdown. I've got screenshots of Zoom conversations that I had with my friends. There's one there that we had with Will's family, because I just wanted to really document everything that happened in this time and how we were trying to stay connected with our friends and family. And I've also got some memes. You can see I've got that picture at the top there. That was something I saw on Facebook about losing track of time. But yeah, these are all just very much homey, day in the life sort of photos, because obviously none of us are going anywhere. But I kind of like it because I have been very selective over the last couple of years about which photos I include in my Project Life albums, because I've got years and years of Project Life now showing my daily life, and even though I think it's really valuable, I have started to sort of narrow down the photos that I include. So it's quite nice to have a lot of those mundane everyday photos in here again, just things I've achieved, things I did to fill my time. I think it's nice to have this record of what we're doing at home right now. And I'm just going through and adding in some memorabilia. So I've got a map from Magic Kingdom here that's going to go in with my Florida trip. I've also got some Get Well Soon cards and my hospital bands here, which you can see I'm trimming to put into a pocket. And I also have some documents from hospital that I've popped in there as well. But obviously for privacy reasons, I've hidden the majority of those. Right, hi everyone. It's been a couple of days now and I am back with my 2020 Project Life album to start the next phase, which is picking cards and papers to go in all of the slots. So I'm not going to start with my cover page because that actually tends to be one of the last things that I do in my albums these days, so I'm just going to leave that one. And then I do have a New Year's Eve spread, which I think I might start with. I prefer to have square corners on my cards and my papers, so I've dug out all of my square cornered cards from my collection. I've also got a stack of patterned papers I can look through as well, and I might just talk you through some of my process whilst picking out these cards. So I did actually cut out a decent chunk of this process because I agonised over this front cover page. Well, this isn't my cover page, this is just the first page of the album for January. It's New Year's Eve. I agonised over those cards for so long, guys. So I ended up going with some cards from Simple Stories, just New Year's themed, basically 365 days sort of themed. So now I'm onto this right hand page, which is obviously still January, and basically what I want to do for each spread is have quite a lot of journaling, because for me I want to talk about everything that's happened this year. So I was looking for a card that had some room for journaling, that it was still a bit interesting, so I found that note taken card up there where I can put the date, and then there's still a good chunk at the bottom for journaling. And then I dug out this really old 6x6 paper pad and just cut a bunch of 3x4 cards out of some of the papers in there that matched that pink 6x4 card. And there you have it. That's pretty much that whole page sorted out already. So when I feel like scrapping it, it's all done. And that is honestly why I go through this process when I batch print my photos, because even though it takes me a while, it means that anytime I feel like scrapbooking, I have pages already mostly put together. Like all the cards and papers are there, all the photos are there, and it's ready to go. So then I got out this, I think it's called Enchanted, collection by Simple Stories, and I bought this years and years ago. I'm not sure if it's still available anywhere. I know that they have updated the Say Cheese Disney themed collections quite a few times, but I'm not sure if they ever updated this one. But basically, again, I was looking for cards that had room for journaling. That space in the top left corner is going to have a 3x4 card on it, but I wanted another card that also had space to journal. So I found this one, and what I plan to do is use a craft knife to cut the end of that banner out and overlap it over the photo, and it's got plenty of space on the left there to write a little story about our first day in Animal Kingdom. And then I was trying to find cards with journaling space again, and that was what I decided on. So these photos were taken in Magic Kingdom, and I believe I stuck with the same collection just to make the whole Disney trip feel a bit more cohesive. And I was flipping through trying to find another journaling card or filler card that would look nice in that top left corner again. Some of the 3x4 cards in this collection are really cute. So I've gone with that Once Upon a Time filler card there, and then I was toying with that Happily Ever After card. I think it does get left there in the end, but I'm not sure it will stay there when I come to actually scrapbook the page. So then I was going through and finding some more pastel papers or cards from that collection which would look nice behind the photos. And again, it just keeps it all really cohesive if you're using the same collection, and it makes it super easy to make your decisions as well. You don't have to agonise over anything. Although having said that, this page did cause me some problems. Right, I did a couple of pages off camera because I was messaging a friend. I showed you the Disney page, I think. Did I? I don't even remember if I showed you the Disney page now. Let's go back quickly. So this is what I did with the Hollywood Studios page in the end. So I did yellow, pink, yellow, pink. Might end up changing, might end up, you know, like throwing out this photo and putting something in, because the blue is really sort of like throwing off the whole page for me, but I do love it, so I might just leave it as is. At the end of the day, it's pretty much only me who actually looks through these albums, so who really cares? This is going to be a map, so we won't do that now. And then I went on to March, and like I said, I did these off camera because I was speaking to a friend. But I used that March card that I set aside earlier, so at least I've got one calendar card in here. And then I chopped a grid card in half and just popped that in there. So I will embellish the card a little bit myself and then journal about when I was admitted into hospital, because that's what this insert is about here. So on the other side, I have this paper collection, I think it was again from Simple Stories, that has like bad day cards in it. So this one here says how about no, and I just thought that was quite funny on this spread. I've got a blue and white stripe card behind there for my hospital bands because it matches the blue of the curtains, and then I just used the black March card from the previous page as a border for this one because I thought it worked quite well with the big bold black writing of that card above. And I wanted to try and incorporate this Nope Not Today card into the next layout because I think it's quite funny. So I've got a Get Well Soon card in here and my discharge notes because I like to keep that sort of thing. And then I think what I might do is move these around and put this Nope Not Today card in here because these are both like funny jokes about when everything started closing, and obviously it's not funny, but back then people were still sort of making light of it and thinking that it wasn't going to be as bad as it has turned out to be. So I am going to document that because at the time, you know, like trying to maintain a sense of humour about it was helping people, and it still is, I think. But I need a journaling card here, a decent sized one, because I want to journal about when I was released from hospital, and then obviously I need backing cards for these and maybe another journal card here so I can write about attempting to bond these two rabbits together. I ended up having to split them because they decided to hate each other, but we'll try again at some point. But yeah, I need to dig through my stash and find cards that are going to work for these. So I was just trying to find some journaling cards and I really don't have that many that actually have space for journaling, so I've had to resort to using like grid cards and things again. But for the photos, I've decided to use some bright colours to tie in that Nope Not Today. As you can see, my colour palette for this album so far is mainly just nice pink colours and everything. A lot of my layouts do end up looking a little bit samey, but you know, oh well. And then I think I will use another bit of this paper to make another 3x4 card and put that at the end. There we go. So now I just need a card for here. And I was thinking I might just do a patterned one and then use a tag to do my journaling, or there might be one, see, like that, I could make that into a 4x6 and potentially write on those lines. There we go, so that could be quite cute. And again, I'll do like some sort of title and everything and decorate that card so that it's not just plain. Then we have the start of lockdown, when I came out of hospital. So we need more cards. So this photo on the top right is a picture of my new Switch and Animal Crossing, which Will got for me. And that 6x6 paper pad had a little pattern paper with peaches on it, and obviously peaches is one of the fruit in the game. If you play the game, then you will know. So I decided to do that backing card with peaches, and I'll probably do like a title or my journaling on a tag or something for the rest of that card. And then I went through and I just picked out some more papers that might match the same way I did for the other layouts. I'm really enjoying using these 6x6 paper pads. They sit in my stash for years. Honestly, I've had all of these for years and years and not used a fraction of the pad. And for this album, I used loads of it. So I basically just cut lots of 3x4 cards that I could use across the 2 pages, and you'll see me flipping between this page and the one that it's going to sit next to in the album a couple of times, just to see where I might be able to put the next card, or if I could tie the 2 layouts together in any way. And I like to do that when I'm working with a double page spread, because as I always say, I like everything to look cohesive and like it matches, even if it's a little bit eclectic. So I've taken up that insert in the middle. It's got the leaflet about coronavirus that the government sent out, and a little thing on the back that my sister-in-law gave to me, well, my future sister-in-law gave to me, asking me to be her bridesmaid next year, which is so exciting. And again, I'm just going through cutting more of those 3x4 cards from those papers as and when I need them, and filling in all of these slots. And again, like I said, you can see a lot of these photos are just day-to-day homey photos, little bits and bobs about the current situation, just all really important memories of this time, I think. And as I was putting this album together, I was really grateful that I had decided to stick with Project Life for another year. It's getting harder and harder to get hold of the page protectors and the albums, but I'm really glad that I'm sticking with it. I think for this year especially, it's going to be really important actually to have these memories documented. So you can see I'm swapping things around a little bit just to make the best use of the space and the best use of the colours and things. I like to make sure I don't have 2 colours next to each other that are the same or whatnot. So I have some monochrome cards in there in between some red ones, and I just thought it looked pleasing to the eye. Okay, and that's all I'm going to do in this video actually, because as you can see, I haven't printed all the photos for this layout yet, and I like my layouts to be complete before I put my photos and before I put my cards and papers in. So I'm pretty much done now with doing that, and I'm ready to start creating some pages, which you'll see probably in my vlogs, or like maybe if I produce any process videos during this time, I'm not sure. So I'll give you a little flip of what we've created in this video. So this will eventually be my front cover, but like I said, I often do that much later. So we have New Year's Eve. Just realised you can't see it. We have New Year's Eve, along with my 12x12 photo. There will be another 12x12 photo here eventually. We have January, which I need a calendar card for, and my Florida trip. So this is February. Didn't take any other photos in February. There's that other 12x12, and my Magic Kingdom and Epcot photos. Like I said, this is all going to be heavily documented in my Disney album, so that's why there aren't many photos in here. And then we've got Hollywood Studios and back to Magic Kingdom on our last day. This will be a little map. And then we have March. And the back of that insert there about my hospital stay. Got a little insert there. When I went home. And then we've got this double page layout that I've just put all the papers in for. So I think that that's a good starting block for starting to create my album, and like I said, I'll put all of the papers in for this one when I actually have all the photos for that spread. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, guys. People said they really enjoyed it last time when I just chatted away while putting my album together, so I hope you enjoyed this one just as much, and you can chat along with me or get an album ready to start actually scrapbooking while I rambled on. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will do my best to get back to you as soon as possible, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.